Hello there, good evening. 2 days, 2 defeats, countless problems for the Prime Minister and her parliamentary battle over Brexit. Today, the Commons saw furious scenes as Conservative MPs blamed the Speaker for the latest blow. Eurosceptics are disgusted that John Bercow broke with parliamentary precedent and seemingly against the advice of his own staff and allowed a vote on an amendment to a business motion. His decision could have major implications for Theresa May. Now, if she loses next week's meaningful vote, she'll have only 3 days to bring an alternative plan to Parliament. Sky's political editor, Faisal Islam, reports.
For the second time in 24 hours, the sound of a government defeat.
The ayes to the right, 308. The noes to the left, 297.
The Commons is becoming accustomed to it, but this one does stand out. Thanks to 17 Tory rebels, if the PM loses next week's Brexit meaningful vote, she'll have till only the following Monday to return to the Commons with a motion outlining a Plan B.
There is a distinction between a motion and an amendment.
Bad enough, but it was all down to an unprecedented step taken by Speaker John Bercow, who had a full-blown argument with the Chief Whip as he broke with previous Commons procedure that backbenchers can't amend a government timetable.
If we were guided only by precedent, manifestly nothing in our procedures would ever change.
Brexiters were not impressed.
Ridiculous.
I have heard you many times on points of order when people have challenged you said, I cannot do X or Y because I am bound by a motion of the House. You've done that multiple times in my experience. So why are you overriding a motion of the House today?
The answer to the...
But the Father of the House urging that they take their grievances elsewhere.
I would suggest to some of my honourable friends, the ones that are getting somewhat overexcited, that perhaps they should don a yellow jacket and go outside to take part in this discussion.
The Speaker insisting he was just doing his job.
My job is not to be a cheerleader for the executive branch. My job is to stand up for the rights of the House of Commons.
In an hour of challenges, his critics questioned his motives.
Not least that you gave your opinion and your vote on the issue of Brexit publicly, that we will have an unshakable conviction that the referee is no longer neutral.
And at this time of national constitutional crisis, MPs arguing about the definition of the word forthwith and tearing into the decoration of the Bercow family motor.
We've all noticed in recent months a sticker in your car making derogatory comments about Brexit. No, this is a serious point about partiality. Have you driven that car with the sticker there?
Order. That sticker on the subject of Brexit happens to be affixed to or in the windscreen of my wife's car. Yes. And I'm sure the honourable gentleman wouldn't suggest for one moment that a wife is somehow the property or chattel of her husband.
The Chief Whip on his knees, cooking up a response with the Prime Minister and Leader of the Commons, who said the Speaker may have overruled his own clerks.
I wondered, therefore, if you could please confirm that your decision was taken with full advice from the Clerk of the House of Commons and other senior parliamentary advisers, and whether you might consider, under these circumstances, publishing that advice for the further...
Jeers from the opposition, given the government's occasional reluctance to hand over legal advice of its own.
I have given my ruling, and that is the situation.
The Speaker seeming to enjoy helping the House of Commons take back control. The rebel-in-chief explained the implications.
It means that the House of Commons will have an opportunity to express its opinion, as well as listening to the government's opinion. So that dialogue can then ensue, which we absolutely need if we're going to get ourselves out of the current crisis.
The big picture here is that this is a significant power grab by the House of Commons from the executive and Number 10, and one that has immediate implications should the Prime Minister lose the meaningful vote next week. It means she can't just kick the can down the road. She has to come up with a plan B in days rather than in a month. But it also shows that there are a couple of dozen Tory MPs willing to push things very far indeed in terms of bringing the power back to the Commons, and that they have an ally in Speaker John Bercow. MPs welcomed tonight to Number 10's charm offensive drinks after pretty much the worst possible day for the PM. A compromise rejected, defeated on another vote, and now cornered in Parliament by a Speaker willing to find new ways for the Commons to wrest control. Faisal Islam, Sky News.